Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, December 20th, 2020. Ravi Monday, Somvar. Title of talk being same as usual. Civil field engineering life engineers. Civil field engineering life engineers I am repeating because signals are 00. Possibly recorded or not recorded, I cannot say. Civil field engineering life engineers, concrete specifications, quality issues, and of course various contract forms, standards, conditions, designs, construction, methods, contracts, and of course disputes. And then you can see various issues. Professional identification, which is a kind of public document, Chartered Engineer India and Professional Engineer, along with email. You can see this is my email. If you wish, you are most welcome to write something. This is certificate of INTP, which is called International Professional Engineers, and there's another certificate that's Chartered Engineer India, which is issued by Institution of Engineers, and this is fellow membership of Institution of Engineers. Explain what is quality and what are various issues that are linked to qualities, and without those issues signals are again 0 and 0. This says quality of Airtel signals, quality maintained by Airtel signals is negative. It doesn't work. That's what I say. Quality is an issue because if you cannot communicate, this medium is for communication. This is on internet, Facebook. I am talking through Airtel signals, and if these signals do not support, how can I communicate successfully? And same applies to coordination. How can you coordinate if information is not available? That's where we can say question mark. Then these certificates are only for show, or the certificate such qualified educated engineers who have got such certificates, and certificates are meaningful only if we value them. That's why I say संचार तथा संतुलन अत्यंत आवश्यक. संचार तथा संतुलन अत्यंत आवश्यक. सही गुणवत्ता पाने के लिए communication and coordination most significant disciplines and subjects. I try to remind every day about communication and coordination. Reason being, I have been finding non-existence of reliable communication and of course non-existence of reliable coordination. I am using word reliable for certain specific requirement, because without these we cannot do anything. You can imagine that much. Without communication we cannot tell anyone, we cannot tell someone, we cannot tell everyone whatever I want to or I intend to state. It may be in writing, it may be in speech, or it may be by sign language. When we drive on road, we use traffic signs, traffic control signals. What is that? I understand that it's also a part of communication where lives and deaths are involved. We say traffic signs, there are so many, and drivers of all vehicles talk to each other through those signs. They know what these signs mean. So you can say this is a sign language, or traffic lights, it's also a sign language. Lights indicating what you have to do. And it is called communication. And it's also called communication and communication because this way and that way. If there is a crossing or roundabout, you'll find one's end light works, other one is one end is green, other one is red. And if both are green, say, what shall happen? You understand what I mean. If both crossings are given red, traffic won't move at all. It will stand still, stand still in both directions. And if both are given green in cross or intersection, what shall happen? It shall happen that traffic shall move in both directions, which shall result in accidents. So what happens? One is green and one is red. You can understand that this is initial coordination. One has to do one, other one has to do other one. This is meaning of coordination on traffic lights. I'm just trying to tell you, I'm just trying to explain to you what does coordination mean. If you want to keep traffic moving, one works red and other works green. And of course, there's another one, amber, which gives alert. You have to start either stop or to go. This is what communication and coordination actually, it's ABCD of coordination. And coordination in word of profession is always very important. Just like a doctor performs surgery. Every point must be fixed and it remains fixed. Sequence of operations remain fixed. If one sequence is missed or goes wrong in sequence, you know what shall be consequences of that operation. Same way, if coordination is missed, if two trains are either coming in opposite direction or in same direction, and if signal bell doesn't care, there should be either log on accident or log tail accident. That's what I say. Coordination missing is very dangerous, is very risky. Coordination is therefore very important point, very important consideration in every activity. All professionals consider themselves specialists. I've seen generally all engineers or even doctors, of course, they consider themselves highly profile engineer, high profile doctors, and they work their job excellently. But when in engineering, multidisciplinary approach arrives, and it happens because in current time, in advanced world, there is no single discipline that acts automatically. Absolutely, it's not possible. If I am a civil engineer, I cannot say I can do everything without support of other discipline engineers like mechanical, electrical, electronics, security, etc., etc. If I don't take their help, I cannot do concrete. I cannot use mixer. I cannot use batching plant. So, what does it mean? It means support is required for prime work. In civil engineering projects, on those projects, others people support, and on other projects, civil engineers support. Example being, we are going to construct one, say power station. Power station means it's job of mechanical and electrical engineers primarily. Of course, it's very cumbersome job, very much detailed job, and where foundations are required or where other structures are required, buildings are required. In those cases, civil engineering acts as support, while domination of mechanical and electrical work engineers continue. Same way on facilities projects like refineries, like other areas of this sector, we find that mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, piping engineers, structural engineers, they always dominate, and civil engineers act parallel and also in support. To allow all this happen, successfully, everybody has to move in alliance. Everybody has to move shoulder to shoulder. And that's where it happens equally important in design. Care is taken in design as well as care is taken on sites or in construction. And all act together, keeping appraised destination. And that destination is project delivery. Project delivery. And from commencement of whatever scheme of project, even right to design or feed, and up to when commissioning is over and project converts to operation. Whole distance is covered as project work, and it's based on total coordination. One point of coordination cannot be missed. And of course, communication is from multi points, multi ends, with multi styles and multi cultures. And you can say these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, you can say thousands maybe, communiques are available through whatever means of written documents or through other documents. That's I try to explain, I try to share with you documentation, which is a must for reference. Only talk is not reliable. It's essential that one must have written document, because just talking or conversing is not enough. We should have complete record, because there is no project which can be completed in 3 hours or 4 hours in one day. Major projects or construction projects or these processing units continue for long distances, years together. And in those days, you cannot keep everything in your mind, and you cannot recall, you cannot retrieve anything from your mind. So only way is documentation. Documentation means every record, everything should be on such records, so that we can easily retrieve whatever is required, and these documents can tell everyone. These documents declare to everyone what these are, and you can see various links among those documents and answer from those links. Quality constructs, quality designs, quality individual, and quality activities are very significant topics, of interest and topics of concern. Because if it is interest, okay, fine, but interest should be expressed in view of, results. Simply saying interest is not enough, because we have to use them, and that's why these are called professional documents. Coordinated information means professional information. Means this information can be guaranteedly, can be with calculated risks used for project working. If these are only document without any concern, without any coordination, this means these cannot be used. This is only for learning or for information. But I would say learning cannot be done if coordination is not done. No specialization can be obtained if information not well coordinated. Means train cannot move on broken tracks. Train cannot move on fragmented areas. Train requires complete, absolutely successfully working track. And that track, you can say, is a kind of communication-based coordination. We shall take you to destination, provided you keep on watch on this track that no accident happens, no fatality happens. And that's why quality has many angles, many aspects in every field, in every subject, in every discipline, and in disciplines also, in every design, in every prosecution or execution. These two terms, one is communication, other one is coordination. Successful chain of these two terms leads to a state which we can call some quality or limited quality. Points we have to realize. Quality is not simply testing and controls. Quality means complete system. If you are talking to use computers can be used qualitatively, but computer can never be used exclusively for one item or two items. When it is design or office work, we may say computers can be used, but when issue comes to execution of sites, execution of activities, computers support, but computer cannot do that. It's not only spare parts or machine, it is physical work that we have to do. We have to use naturally available materials through certain processing, and those materials have to be used through human resources, through workforce, through construction crew, and that is what we say, no material can be installed directly. Every combined material, every independent material, they have certain properties behind, attributes behind. Or to achieve them, there are processes, there are theories, there are practicals, which we have to conduct, and based on those complete process, which can be called engineering construction process or engineering design process, we get through all this coordination. And we can say this, we have coordinated this properly. We need not review when drawings are available, information is available from independent sources. Where coordination has not been done, it is engineering requirement that coordination must be done. And if coordination is not done, we can say nothing can be made sure. Your product cannot be produced. And that's where point lies in. If we have to be smart enough, when I say we, it includes everybody, and exclusively engineers and engineering staff, and in particular engineering worker. When I call industrial worker, I mean engineering worker of front line, because whatever work is done at final stage, it is done by engineering workers, engineering professionals, engineering team. Engineering means construction engineering, production engineering, manufacturing engineering, services providing engineering. Education may be said, of course, it is engineering in different way, because educator produces professionals, future professionals. and of course society and individual approach, which are, we can say, at highest level important. If individual doesn't think, if an individual doesn't work, if an individual does not have any approach towards achieving quality or performance, nothing can move. Factor of individual, I understand, is very significant because two individuals cannot have same properties. One thinks one way, another thinks another way. One does one way, one does another way. This is established that two engineers cannot do same way, same pattern. Similarly, two doctors can't do that way. And it is because of difference of opinion, difference of understanding, and it depends on experience, how many years experience one got. And experience is biggest teacher, we can say. So in these all sectors, if we want to achieve something, we have to think about how to achieve quality in construction, how to achieve quality in production, and how to do that in manufacturing as well as in extension of services, establishment of education, and continuation of social infrastructure, social fabric, and of course independent person, individual person, how one gets into world of quality and communication. And communication means everything should be explicitly clear. Coordination means we know everything about whatever is to be done. We cannot miss a single point in engineering. Engineering means clear concept. One point is very appreciable in engineering world, that if you are not clear about anything, if you are not clear about any issue, do not do it. Well, some people do it thinking they are doing research or thinking that no problem, let us try. Well, if you can afford, try it. But don't forget, you are using something that originally you didn't make. So I don't say that you should not try, you should try. But not for sake of try, but sake of some result. Because quality is required everywhere. Quality is required in every activity, in this life, in that life, and of course, in engineering. And we can say life is based on engineering and vice versa, that engineering is based on life. What is requirement? What's requirement today? What was requirement in the past? And what shall be requirement in future? These are all triangular. Past cannot be deleted perfectly, and future cannot. Future depends on what we do today and what we achieved in past. Today what we do, that's based on observation or previous lessons. While what will happen in future, it depends on how do we do today, how successful we are, and what lessons we learned. Means all these three are linked. They work in unison, in fact. Of course, little gap exists, overlap exists. We can say domain of engineering. It's a question of involvement with nature. It's a question of having pride that I am a part of nature and I think to survive in an excellent way through blessings of nature, through optimum use of natural resources. That's what we say. For example, which resource is natural? I say every resource is natural. Every resource. You may take water body, you may take continent, you may take air, you may take sun, you may take sky. All these are natural. And we to ourselves, everyone, every person is natural. So we don't realize this fact, but we are natural. And that point must be clear. And if individual approach improves, I would say quality shall improve because individual itself should have quality. If individual does not have quality system within it and does not use it, then individual cannot develop. Individual cannot develop if you are an engineer by qualification, by education. But if you don't do engineering, how can you term yourself engineer? Simply having certain degree does not mean that you are engineer. Engineer is very smart term. It's more powerful than every other term because it does permanent work. That's the important point. Engineering does permanent work while others do not do permanent work. Permanent in a way that it's unlimited time requirement. Though works are done for years, for few weeks, it's not denied, but when I say works of construction, works of civil engineering, where products are such powerful, immense power projects have, one product can work up to many decades, or you may say century. That's why I say that it's beyond our average age. Beyond our average age, this means it's more powerful than our whole life, and that is engineering product. Engineering product is very important. It's like primary requirement. Expected. Then we have to ask ourselves how to come out of that problem which we fail to solve, and without understanding how that product works or how does that system work, we cannot reach any solution, and we remain like failure of signals, fluctuating. All life keeps fluctuating. We have got no control on life. That point is very significant. I was talking about concrete specifications last time. We could not complete due to many reasons, due to falling signals, which I don't want to complain every time, because if you complain many times and you don't find any concrete answer, concrete modification to such a fallen work, I cannot say that something can be said in that regard. What last time we studied about formwork faced in contact with concrete. I don't know which page it was. I remember it was somewhere here, 92 page or 91 page. I'm not exactly sure of this. Form ties and coating and accessories. Then formwork we discussed, and formwork faced in contact with concrete. Let us take this so that even if 1 or 2 page goes repeated, no problem. So let us start from here. That is this. So we did this non-slip hardened finish. We did that. So we can say, let's say surface finish classifications, only for speaking, not for explanation. So we can go back previous overlapping, which was broken. So we can continue on that overlap. It's better if you continue. So the surface finish classification. Finishes to form surfaces of concrete shall be classified as F1, F2 and F3. Each or such other specific class, such other, you can say, hold on please, you can say such other specific finish as may be designated, Where class of finish is not designated, all internal concrete shall be finished to class F3, external concrete block ground shall be finished to class F1, and where surfaces are to be tanked by covering with paint or sheeting, formwork shall be capable of achieving a finish suitable for proposed tanking as directed by engineer. Formwork material. Formwork for class F3 finish shall be lined with as large panels as possible of non-staining material with a smooth unblemished surface. With a smooth, you can say, or hard compressed fiber board, arranged in a uniform approved pattern and fixed to back formwork by oval nails. Let me see again. It is here. Hold on, please. What is that? For I'm sorry, I missed that one. Okay. Okay, let us say formwork materials. Formwork for class 3 finish shall be lined with as large panels as possible of non-staining material with a smooth unblemished surface such as sanded plywood or hard compressed fiber board, arranged in a uniform approved pattern and fixed to back formwork by oval nails. Same type of lining used throughout one structure. Unfaced wrought boarding or standard steel plate shall not be permitted. Means wrought boarding or standard steel plates shall not be permitted. Formwork for class 2 finish should be faced with wrought tongued and grooved bolts or plywood arranged in a uniform approved pattern, free from defects likely to detract from appearance of surface. Formwork class F1 finish be constructed of timber or of whatever suitable materials which prevent loss of grout when concrete is vibrated. So we have class F3, F2, F1. What is F3? I repeat, it's very important. Lined with as large panels as possible of non-staining material with a smooth unblemished surface such as sanded wood, plywood or hard compressed fiber board, arranged in a uniform approved pattern and fixed to back formwork by oval nails. That type of lining shall be used throughout one structure, and you can say unfaced wrought boarding or standard steel plate shall not be allowed. Formwork class F2 shall be faced with wrought tongued and grooved boards or plywood arranged in a uniform approved pattern, free from defects likely to detract from appearance of surface. That's F2. And if you say F1 formwork F1 finish be constructed of timber or of whatever suitable material which prevent the loss of grout when concrete is vibrated. Exposed concrete surface shall have a class F3 as we said above. And you know what is F3. First one here lined with as large panels as possible with no staining materials with a smooth unblemished surface such as sanded plywood. So we are talking F3, you can say exposed concrete surface finishes. We have to take care to ensure that finish to exposed concrete on external and internal surfaces are of highest quality to produce a smooth concrete surface of uniform texture and appearance without visible imprint of grains, stoppings or ridges. Resulting concreting shall be free from honeycombing, from strains, from fins, from lipping, from nails and screws, marks, raised grains marks or whatever other imperfections, and must be of uniform surface, texture and color. Why it says in this case surface should not have any honeycombing, should not have stains, should not have fins, and should not have lippings or nails and screw marks, and should not have any raised grain marks or any other imperfections, and must be of uniform surface, texture and color. You may say only minor, very minor surface blemishes caused by entrapped air or water can be accepted provided that does not exceed 0.5% by area of each square meter considered separately, and in addition to that it should not exceed concentrated in a manner such that they are noticeable. This is F3. We can see then water retaining structure shall be class F3, that is wetted surface of water. Exposed concrete corners and edges shall have 20 mm by 20 mm chamfers, which are exposed one. It may be column, it may be beam, or you can see likewise then grooves in exposed concrete. Grooves in exposed concrete shall be formed by attaching tapered planned timber battens accurately aligned to face of formwork. Now form ties. Form ties conform to following requirements. Ties I'm talking of, it can be fabricated by factory, it can be adjustable in length, and you can say we can use removable or snap off metal from ties, can be designed to prevent formwork deflection and also spalling concrete surfaces. It can prevent spalling concrete surfaces on removal. No metal be left closer than applicable levels of cover to surface of concrete. No metal shall be left closer than applicable level of cover to surface of concrete. Holes larger than 10 mm diameter in concrete surface when using snap ties shall not be permitted. Form ties shall have a factor of safety not less than 1.5. So here's the definition of form ties. Again I say form ties conform to following requirements: factory fabricated, adjustable in length, use removable or snap off metal form ties, designed to prevent formwork from deflection and to prevent spalling concrete surfaces on removal. No metal be left closer than applicable level of cover to surfaces of concrete. Holes larger than 10 mm diameter in concrete surface and using snap ties shall not be permitted. which is also a very significant issue as far as formwork is concerned. Form coating be commercial formulation. Form coating shall be commercial formulation. Form coating compounds that will not bond with stains nor adversely affect concrete surfaces, requiring bond or adhesion, nor impede wetting of surfaces to be cured shall be used. What it says, form coatings shall be commercial formulation. Form coating compounds that shall not bond with stain nor adversely affect concrete surfaces, requiring bond or adhesion, nor impede wetting of surfaces to be cured. Use of foam coatings shall be strictly in accordance with manufacturer's instructions. Formwork in contact with concrete. Formwork in contact with concrete shall be treated with a suitable non-staining mold oil to prevent adherence of concrete. Form for exposed surfaces shall be coated with oil. Forms for exposed surfaces shall be coated with oil before reinforcement is placed. Forms for unexposed surfaces may be thoroughly wetted with water in lieu of oiling immediately before placing concrete, except during freezing weather. Excessive oiling of forms shall not be permitted in order to prevent discoloration of cement plaster or cement material. Where concrete surface is to be painted, form oil must not affect bond between concrete and paint. Care shall be taken to prevent oil from coming in contact with reinforcement or with concrete at construction joint. Whatever oil on reinforcing steel has to be removed. No other way, if cannot be removed, special finishes or applied coatings, which may be affected by agent. Fillet and chamfer strips shall be PVC or timber as approved. This 20 by 20 right angle triangle section. Tapes to be used to seal joints of formwork panels. For smooth finish concrete shall be plastic faced adhesive tape to approval by engineer. Precast concrete molds shall be rigid steel, wood or fiberglass molds. Finishing reglets, flashing reglets shall be galvanized steel. Flashing reglets shall be galvanized steel of longest possible. Formwork execution means how to do formwork. In general, we can say where formwork to external faces be permanently exposed, all horizontal and vertical formwork joints shall be so arranged that joint lines form a uniform pattern on face of concrete. Where contractor proposes to make formwork from standard sized manufactured formwork panels, size of such panels shall be approved by engineer before these are used in construction of works. Finished appearance of entire elevation of structures and adjoining structures shall be considered when Planning pattern of joint lines caused by our formwork and by construction joints to ensure continuity of horizontal and vertical lines. Finished appearance of entire elevation of structures and adjoining structures shall be considered when planning pattern of joint lines caused by formwork and by construction joint to ensure continuity of horizontal and vertical lines. Masonry nails or similar items shall not be used to fix formwork of like to permanent concrete works. Trial panels. Trial panels comprise surfaces that have unformed surfaces and formed surfaces which are F1, F2, F3 as we read before. Concrete cast from job mock-up shall be used to assess acceptability of contractors' workship or workmanship for finishing. I am using workship because men is not alone in work, women also work. You may guess a work personship or workship pattern. So it's not a dictionary word, but we can use workship because there's no much difference between workship and worship. Finishing is deemed unacceptable by engineers. Contractor shall prepare with production, concreting and finishing for purpose of color comparison to ensure color consistency. Formwork face in contact with concrete. Formwork face in contact with concrete. Signals are down and I cannot say whether it's being recorded or not recorded. Sometimes signals are down and sometimes you can say frame rate is down. Minimum should be 20, but sometimes it's 2 or 3 or 1 or 7 or 8, and that's problem here. If we do same in construction, what shall happen you can imagine. Imagine like this signals speed, like variation signals, if same variation goes onto construction works, what shall happen? It's very easy to predict. Therefore, it's a great responsibility on shoulders of civil engineers that they should be very smart in delivering quality as well as the speed of quality must be constant repeat vapor. It may be high, but then it should not be too low. That's where point lies in. Faces of formwork in contact with concrete. Faces of formwork in contact with concrete. You may say walls or columns or faces. Faces of formwork in contact with concrete shall be free from adhering foreign matter. There should be nothing which is non-concrete, something we may call foreign on these faces. Projecting nails, we may say no projecting nails. There should be no split or other defects, and all formwork be clean and free from standing water, dirt, shavings, or other deleterious matter. We can say in one case, faces of formwork in contact with concrete, having to be in contact with concrete, shall be free from adhering foreign matter, projecting rails and like, projecting nails and like, splits or other defects, and all formwork shall be clean and free from standing water, dirt, chafings, or other deleterious matter. Joints between forms and tie holes be watertight. Joints between forms and tie holes be watertight to prevent escape of mortar or formation of fins or other blemishes on faces of concrete. Contractor shall verify lines, levels and measurement before proceeding with formwork erection. Formwork surface shall be made clean and free from whatever foreign and deleterious matter prior to start concrete pour. In hot weather, surface of formwork shall be sprayed with water in order to sloping surfaces. Formwork sloping surfaces, we may say formwork shall be provided for top surfaces of sloping work. Top surfaces of sloping work where slope exceeds 15 degrees. Slope exceeds 15 degrees from horizontal, except where such top surface is specified as a spaded finish. Formwork shall be anchored to enable concrete to be properly compacted and to prevent flotation. Care be taken to prevent air being trapped under sloping form. Temporary openings. Contractor provide temporary openings for inspection of inside of formwork and for removal of water used for washing down. Openings shall be formed as to be easily closed before placing concrete. Temporary opening shall be avoided in case of fair-faced concrete. Contractor shall provide windows in forms. Contractor shall provide windows in forms whenever directed by engineer or necessary for access for concrete placement and vibration. Windows shall be of size adequate for trays and vibrators, spaced at maximum 1.8 meters centers horizontally. Windows shall be size, because windows is a question here, is inaccessible. Again I say, contractor provides windows in forms wherever directed by engineer or necessary for access for concrete placement and vibration. Windows shall be of size adequate for tremies and vibrators, spaced at maximum 1.8 meters horizontally. Windows shall be tightly closed and sealed before proceeding to place concrete at a higher level. Coordination. Contractor shall ensure that work of other trades in forming and setting openings, side opening slots, recesses, chases, sleeves, bolts anchors and other inserts is fully coordinated. Conduits of pipes shall be located so as not to reduce strength of construction. In no case shall pipes other than conduits be placed in a slab 125 mm or less in thickness. In no case shall pipes other than conduits be placed in slab 125 mm or less in thickness. Conduits embedded in concrete slab. Conduits embedded in concrete slab shall not have an outside diameter greater than 1/3 thickness of slab, nor be placed before bottom reinforcing steel, nor be placed below bottom reinforcing steel or over top reinforcing steel. Conduits may be embedded diameter than 1/3 thickness of wall, are not spaced closer than 3 diameter or center, and do not impair strength of structure. Embedded pipes and conduits shall be supported independently from reinforcing steel in a manner to prevent metallic contact and thereby prevent electrolytic deterioration. Embedded pipes or conduits shall be supported independently from reinforcing steel in a manner to prevent metallic contact and thereby prevent electrolytic deterioration. And before that was, conduits may be embedded in walls provided these are not large in outside diameter than 1/3 of thickness of wall, where all are not closer than 3 diameter on center and do not impair strength of structure. Embedded pipes, conduits shall be supported independently from reinforcing steel in a manner to prevent metallic contact and thereby prevent electrolytic deterioration. Embedded pipes and conduits shall be supported independently from reinforcing steel in a manner to prevent metallic contact and thereby prevent electrolytic deterioration. Pipes and conduits where embedded shall be placed as nearly as piping and other wall penetrations or reinforcement shall be subject to engineer's review and approval. Conduit shall be fixed properly. Conduit shall be fixed properly to avoid any displacement. Avoid whatever displacement during concreting and prevent coming in contact with forms. Ties and bolts. Position of ties passing through concrete shall be subject to approval. Tie bolts or other devices. When I am saying approval, this means approval by engineer. It's a standard one. Position of ties passing through concrete. Positions of ties passing through concrete shall be subject to approval by engineer. Bolts and other devices. Bolts or other devices shall not be built into concrete for purpose of supporting formwork without prior approval of engineer. Whole or part of work, whole or part of whatever such supports shall be capable of removal, so that no part remaining embedded in concrete shall be nearer to surface. Whole or part of whatever such supports shall be capable of removal, so that no part remaining embedded in concrete shall be nearer to surface than cover required for reinforcement. Chamfer molding strip shall be positioned on exposed corners of column and beams. Cambers. Now, cambers and beams, and cambers, if required, shall be shown on drawing. If required, cambers shall be shown on drawing. Depth of beam at all points in span where cambers are used shall be as shown on drawings. Allowance shall be made for compression and settlement of formwork on line and level. Exterior angles. All exterior angles of concrete, all exterior angles to concrete exposed to wave in completed structure shall be cast to through angles evenly throughout length. Care shall be taken to ensure that no waviness occurs along with angle, and that no spalling occurs to concrete on removal of formwork. Care shall be taken to ensure that no waviness occurs along angle, and that no spalling occurs to concrete on removal of formwork. Surface retarders. Surface retarders shall not be used in any formwork surface in contact with concrete unless expressly authorized by engineer. Surface retarders shall not be used on any formwork surface in contact with concrete unless expressly authorized by engineer. The detection of movement during concrete placement. Detection of movement telltale type shall be installed on supported forms and elsewhere as required to detect formwork movement and deflection during concrete placement. That is telltale type. Where required, slab and beam cambers shall be checked and correctly maintained as concrete loads are applied on forms. Work persons shall be assigned to check forms during concrete placement and to promptly seal all mortar leaks. Forms shall be checked during concreting in order to identify any displacement and provide corrective actions immediately. Forms shall be checked during concreting in order to identify whatever displacement and, if possible, provide corrective actions immediately. Building in pipes. Pipes and pipes spatial through concrete and floors as far as possible be positioned and built in during construction. These shall be located exactly in positions shown on drawings and shall be true to line and level. Shall be true to line and level. Particular care to ensure that fully compacted concrete is in contact with pipe at all points. Contractor has to take particular care to make sure that fully compacted concrete is in contact with pipe at all points. It is not practicable to cast pipes and spatials in concrete. Box holes shall be formed. Box holes or blockouts, you may say. Box holes shall be formed in shutters. Box shall have 6 or 8 sides. Box shall have 6 or 8 sides depending on pipe diameter and be no larger in size than shall give adequate clearance for subsequent positioning and grouting of pipe. Sides of box hole shall be provided with a tapered central annular recess. Side of box hole shall be provided with a tapered central annular recess to provide a positive key. Positive key. Box hole shall be provided with a grout hole and at top of central annular recess. A vent hole. Box hole shall be stripped with main shutters and concrete surfaces thoroughly cleaned and roughened. So we can say box hole shall be provided where it is not practicable to cast pipes and spatials in concrete. Box hole shall have 6 or 8 sides depending on pipe diameter and shall be no larger in size than will give adequate clearance for subsequent positioning and grouting of pipe. Size of box hole shall be provided with a tapered central annular recess to provide a positive key. Box hole shall be provided with a grout hole at top of central annular recess. A vent hole. Box hole shall be stripped with main shutters and concrete surface. When pipe is later fixed, pipe is fixed later, remaining hole shall be reshuttered. Remaining hole shall be reshuttered and filled with non-shrink epoxy grout or non-shrink concrete. In case of water retaining structures, contractor shall ensure that measures adopted provide a finished joint which is resistant against and free from leakage. Working platform. Safe working platform shall be provided according to health and safety requirements. Safe access. Safe access shall be provided for all workers, inspectors, and other users according to requirement of safety and health. Kickers shall be provided for walls and columns. Kickers shall be watertight in order to prevent whatever grout loss. Cover spacers. Cover spacers shall be used in order to maintain required cover between formwork and reinforcement. Water bars in case of watertight construction. In case of watertight constructions, water bars are now we come to removal of formwork. It's very important one as well. Removal of formwork. In general, engineer shall before removal of formwork, whatever formwork. Contractor under no circumstances shall strike formwork until concrete has attained adequate strength to resist damage, in particular to arises and features. Concrete shall be thoroughly wetted. Concrete shall be thoroughly wetted as soon as forms are first loosened. Concrete shall be thoroughly wetted as soon as forms are first loosened and kept wet during removal operations and until curing media is applied. A potable water supply with hoses having fine fog spray attachment shall be ready at each removal location before operations are commenced. A potable water supply with hoses having fine fog spray attachment shall be ready at each removal location prior to operations are commenced. Forms after removal shall be cleaned and prepared for subsequent use. Stripping of formwork. Shall be approved by engineer after considering loads likely to be imposed on concrete, and in any case be not less than period shown on what is table C. A period of time elapsing between placing of concrete and striking shutters of formwork shall be approved by engineer, and after consideration of loads likely to be imposed on concrete, and in any case be not less than as indicated on this table we see on start 9.1. Stripping of formwork with time limits listed above does not relieve contractor from successfully crushing test cubes and achieving specified compressive strength. Results. Notwithstanding foregoing, contractor shall be held responsible for whatever damage, any damage arising from removal of formwork before structure is capable of carrying its own weight and whatever incidental loading. Where finishing surfaces or finished surfaces have re-entrant angles, formwork shall be removed as early as possible within time limits set above to avoid shrinkage cracks. Formwork shall be carefully stripped to avoid sudden shocks from removal of wedges or vibration which might cause damage to beams and slabs. Shoring to beams and slabs shall be placed immediately after stripping formwork. Now is a table where stripping time of formwork is indicated as was that its size, time of formwork, and other column says minimum period before stripping, times are from concrete placement. Beams, sides, walls and columns 1 day, it says. In case it is OPC, it's not given this, we can say up to 2 days, up to 3 days, depending on what type of concrete has been used or included. Soffits of slabs, prop left under 4 days. This is very old and it's of course not practical if you consider well, it's only for purpose of information or issue. Soffit of beams, joists and girders 10 days, props left under, props to slabs 11 days, props to beams 15 days. Well, this depends, let's say. Holes to be filled is that holes formed in concrete surfaces by formwork, supports or like shall be filled nearly with non-shrink grout. Holes formed in concrete surfaces by formwork supports or like shall be filled with nearly with non-shrink grout. Contractor shall clean and scarify hole that is be filled with non-shrink grout. Repair to damaged concrete surfaces. When concrete surface has been damaged, contractor shall break out whatever loose, broken or cracked concrete or aggregate available. Concrete surrounding hole shall then be thoroughly soaked. Concrete surrounding holes shall then be thoroughly soaked, after which surface shall be dried so as to leave a small amount of free water on surface. Surface shall then be dusted with ordinary Portland cement by means of small dry brush until whole surface that comes in contact with dry pack mortar has been covered and darkened by absorption of free water by cement. I repeat, concrete surrounding hole shall be thoroughly soaked, after which surface be dried so as to leave a small amount of free water on surface. Surface shall then be dusted with ordinary Portland cement by means of a small dry brush until whole surface that comes in contact with dry pack mortar has been covered and darkened by absorption of free water by